What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to How's It Going End. How you doing? That's great. I'm here with Frank Alvarez from the Basement Yard Podcast.
How's my queen wave? Is it good? Is it?
It's better than she is right now. I hear she's not doing great,
we don't know what's going on with her.
or she's doing the best, and they're giving her all the cures. We don't fucking know.
Yeah, you need to be careful what you say because
I know
you are prime. Like they will take you out. They see that first
sure.
and last name of yours, and they're like, "Oh, he's prime target number one." And you're in a med hat.
They would not name any children close to my names.
No. Sorry, I hate to break it to you, but what's up, buddy? How are you?
I'm all right, man. I'm good. It's been a while. Last we talked was Winter Soldier's finale, I think.
Yes. There's a lot that has happened since then.
God. Gee, what was that? It's only been like 9 months. Oh.
No, that was over. That was over a year. No,
I thought that was May or April.
Yeah,
I guess coming up on a full year. Wow.
Jesus coming up Christ. On a full year.
I'm so fucking tired.
Does it make you want to?
And I don't have kids, so I can't even imagine how tired it is. You know what I mean? So
I can't, say too much right now. My daughter's sleeping through the night. So
that's good. That's good. At least how's that going?
Yeah, a lot happens in a year.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what's funny is I wanted to talk, of course, about the 94th Academy Awards and how much of a fucking mess they were, and how they've been like on course to be a mess for like months now.
In our lifetime, we have seen the rapid decline of not only the quality of the show, but the people behind the scenes trying to put together a good show to appeal to a larger audience. And it is, it's like a dumpster fire. You can't look away. You need to watch it all happen. Mm-hmm. Car crash too. You see the car crash happen. You need to watch this car crash slowly but surely just dive right off the bridge into the ocean.
Yeah. Or when I walk my dog, I can't not look at it when it shits.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's a turd, but I still am like observing.
That's exactly right. And it's so funny because movie like the purists, the people that are watching the Oscars are so like the artistry and like the holding these people in reverence and like and it's like they are just giving you a big fuck you to all of those people. And you're right. Watching this show was like staring at a dog asshole for at least 3 hours.
And you know what's funny? What's so great about it is like they made every wrong move. You think that they're like literally Harry and Marv breaking into the Home Alone house and stepping on ornament after ornament. You know what I mean? Like, look where you're going, guys. Maybe don't hire like a widely known, disliked comedian for a show that already, like, if you're trying to appeal to a wider range of people, hire people that that are generally likable, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, don't go for someone that the tidal wave of hate will like bring you to your knees. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that it's funny because we're seeing these people that, put together the show clearly have no idea what they're doing or talking about. And they are honoring people that clearly know what they're doing and know what they're talking about. So it's I hate the idea of like the blind leading the blind. This in this situation is like the blind leading a country of people off of a cliff. Into a vat of Ivan Ooze's, evil ooze.
It was all sorts of fuck. I mean, literally, I want to go in order because I feel like ending it with the slap is how this should go, right? I mean, but Amy Schumer is Amy Schumer, and you know what you're getting with Amy Schumer. Wanda Sykes and Regina Hall were fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they were like, if any other year they would have been normal hosts, I feel like. And then tacking Amy Schumer onto them was like, all right, we need someone to be able to make fun of the white people or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, they had to hit all four quadrants. They had to get, a woman. My understanding is Wanda Sykes is a gay woman, a woman of color. And then just, I guess, someone to piss everybody off, which is Amy Schumer. Personally, I don't have an issue with Amy Schumer. I know that there's a lot of information out there on her with, joke stealing. And I think that her brand of comedy is not the worst personally. I mean, like, I don't hate her as much as some people out there. And I do think that she gets a lot more shit just because she is a successful woman. So people are immediately just going to fucking hate her because of that, and they're
Yeah.
intimidated by her. But yeah, if you don't like Amy Schumer's shtick, and she has a very specific shtick,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
that's the issue here. That's like again, Ricky Gervais years ago. It's not that he's bad at what he does. He's very successful as she is. It's just you're taking someone that has something that is very specific to a very niche group of people, and you hope that it appeals to the masses.
Yeah.
And that's
And here's
really
the
tough.
other thing. Like when she was coming up, she was a pretty like small name comedian. And I've seen there's like it's very hard to find clips of her doing stand-up when she was just, before like 2010 maybe.
Mhm.
And she has a lot of audio hours and stuff like that, a lot of albums of those. And then she did which was it, Charlie Sheen's roast? And everyone loved her.
Mm.
Like we can all confirm, like she was hilarious one at the roast. She was really good. Everyone also, it's a roast, you know what I mean? You go up there to kind of say like the meanest, not necessarily maybe dirty or raunchy, but like mean jokes. And everyone loves a mean joke at someone else's expense. If the atmosphere is like, hey, get ready to hear some mean jokes, you know what I mean? And I also always say, like, I don't trust someone who, as soon as you say her name, it's like, "Ugh," like the anger of someone immediately, because it's like, all right, chill for a second. It's understandable. Maybe she's not your favorite comic. Maybe her brand of humor isn't your favorite. You don't have to immediately want to, roast her alive. And it's just a very interesting choice to choose someone. I guess maybe they just thought like people will will want to see controversy.
Well, this is the thing is, these choices, and forgive me, my allergies. I was in Florida
Mhm.
over the weekend and I came back to 30-degree weather after being in
Oh
80
yeah.
degrees.
Oh
My
yeah.
allergies are all fucked up. But you think that these castings, you think that these moves and, picking a host, what you want them to do is you want them to bring in an audience that you had not previously had. You want people to say, oh my God, this might not happen. I don't know. At this point, anything could fucking happen. But like people say, like, oh my God, I love The Rock because they know who The Rock is. Rock is hosting the show. I'm gonna watch it because of The Rock,
How
and
how that didn't happen is insane. Wanda Sykes, Regina Hall, and The Rock in the middle.
that would
How didn't that happen?
be
Where did
very
they land on
fortunate.
Amy Schumer?
Well, I think that it was just she's a successful comedian. I mean, like, and
Yeah.
I think that the Academy was trying to play things safe. I mean, look at the moves that they've been doing over the last couple of years. They've been trying to placate to a specific audience,
Oh
and
yeah.
that the people that have been very critical of them. Oscar's so white, and trying to put in and taking out, then putting
Yeah.
in the fan favorite vote. Like they're trying to appeal to a different demographic, and they thought Schumer could do that, and to a degree, they're right.
Oh, I mean,
But
they're absolutely right. I mean, statistically, they're right. This Oscars was 60% up in ratings compared to last year.
so we can criticize the Schumer thing all you want, but guess what? The
That's
clicks
fucking
were there, man.
crazy. And
Yeah.
that's so discerning, because they're not going to change anything. Well, not whether just like choosing people who just you don't think would fit to host a 4-hour event. But like, I don't know. I was made fun of recently for this, but like something always like the Oscars was an event growing up. Like you would like get in on a Sunday. It was like a Super Bowl with my friends and family. We would get food out and just
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
watching. It's also just I feel like that's a common thing for most non-celebrities to be like, hey, look, they're all under one roof. That's pretty fucking cool.
Well, it's also we are so inundated with being a part of celebrities' lives because they're basically every move is in our
Yeah.
pocket 24/7. So, when we were younger and growing up, it'd be like, oh my God, Billy Crystal. I haven't seen Billy Crystal in, so long. Oh my
Mhm.
God. Bah, 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 bah. Where now it's like you're seeing these people and it's someone that you saw yesterday and someone that
Yeah.
you follow yesterday. So you know what they were doing the day before, on their way, and the day after. And it is taking a little bit of the luster from it, the glitz and the glamour. But also on top of that, it's kind of like well understood why that glitz and glamour it's gone and it's become a little tarnished because over the last couple of years there has been a lot more about the just insane dealings of Hollywood that have come out of and into the light. So how much, and this might be the hyper liberal stance, but like how much can you watch that show without seeing and knowing of all of the shitty things that they've done to people over the last 94 years, let's say, and
Oh yeah.
probably longer than that.
Well, I mean, It's so funny. This is the first time I've ever like tweeted in time with something on with like a broadcasting or whatever. And
Mhm.
I'm very much Twitter moves too fucking fast for me, man.
It's a little quick.
It's I mean Instagram alone is already like disorienting, but Twitter is like fuck. The thing is like a living thing. So it's like this is the first time I was like, okay, I'm constantly refreshing and I'm tweeting every thought possible. Not every thought, but every thought. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, we
And
don't want every thought for you.
not every thought, not the nasty thoughts, but this is the one where I was like, oh, this is what it feels like to be in like a circle and watching everything. It's very much like, and especially now with social media and everything is literally in this third dimension of internet. It was intense. It was intense to have everything happen and in such a beautiful mess. I mean, this one in particular started like a couple months ago or however, I think it was a month and a half ago. They decided they were going to cut like all the technical awards. You know what I mean? The award for someone who no one knows the name of, they cut that shit. You know what I mean? Unless you pay attention to the credits, which who really does other than
Well,
people who care.
well, they were taking the show muscles approach.
Yeah.
You know, you go to the gym and every day you work out butts and arms, butts and arms,
Yeah.
butts and arms, butts and arms and abs. And they, just so because those are the things that people want to see. They want to see your yoked muscles. They want to see your ass hanging out of your shorts.
Buys and thighs. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's what that was their approach. And again, if they want to make a step forward to a different audience, why are you then also not just a different audience, but like getting the trust back of the audience that they really want?
Yeah.
Why are they then doing something like that, which is going to piss off so many people? Because it's a tone deaf move. That's the reality of it. Is saying like, listen, those people that's, for lack of better terms, sat there and slaved away hours and hours and hours and hours making this movie what you enjoyed it to be,
it's so
are
disrespectful.
not going to get the recognition. You know who will? The person whose face that you've seen for 2.5 hours. And I understand why they want to do it from like a rating standpoint, I guess.
I mean, well, that's the worst part is if you can remove yourself from like the human standpoint and move into like the money man, like what's going to get the most clicks, what's going to get the most, the line moving forward. Of course, that's what you would do. The insult to injury is them shooting it during the red carpet, which is what they did. They filmed all that, and they had stand-ins in the audience while like Jessica Chastain is walking outside and then all that. And then during the broadcast, they re-edited the clips into it. So they would have someone come up and be like, well, here's a perfect fucking example. It's actually insane that this happened. Riz Ahmed was his short film, The Long Goodbye, won, and he's the first Muslim American to win in this category ever. And it was iconic. And he gave a great speech talking about, the triumphs of just the country and all that. And it's really incredible. And they cut it. Like his speech is chopped to fucking bits. And not only is it that, it cuts to audience reactions that don't fit at all. And it's like, it's so hard to watch, to see like genuinely some of the more moving and just impactful awards go to people who were like, yeah, I spent my whole life trying to make this thing get chopped the fuck up so that they can do 2 Encanto performances.
Well, listen, I will never be upset about an Encanto performance, so bite your fucking tongue.
I get rid of the first one, keep the Meg Thee Stallion one of
okay. We don't talk about Bruno.
Yeah, we don't talk about Bruno. That one you could keep. What are you doing? I know they only did the other one because they submitted it for best song, and of course it fucking won best. No, actually, No Time to Die won best song.
Yeah.
I'm talking about an animated feature. Of course, Disney raked an animated feature, but yeah, it was just they did the fans who want to watch Dirty in an attempt to make fans who don't want to watch, and I guess it worked. I don't know.
I would have been more forgiving if like the edited in clips and audience reactions were just every single time it's that clip of, you ever see from, I forgot what award show it was, but
Brendan Fraser,
where he's just like,
yes.
Remember just that the whole time? I would not be upset.
That would have worked, and they would have doubled their ratings. I guarantee it.
Or the one of Michael Keaton from Spotlight a couple years ago, where he's walking up and he's like, "Yeah, just Keaton, just give me Keaton and Brendan Fraser."
Or that one of Tommy Lee Jones just sitting there and not having a good time.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Just sitting there being like, I'm tired. I want to go home.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. Well, okay. Another thing, like, did you get to see Dune?
I haven't seen Dune, and I'll tell you this: I have no desire to see Dune. I understand,
Yeah.
and film Twitter might come at me, but like
Yeah.
from a realistic standpoint, one, I really don't have the time to sit down and watch it,
hmm
and two, I'm also the biggest fan of Denis and Chalamet. I just
Yeah.
personally, but I understand that they made a visual epic,
Well, yeah.
and to not, you know, I mean, I'm pretty sure they won for visual effects.
They won every technical award except for I think they won every technical award.
Yeah. I don't have it pulled up, but yeah. I'm looking back because I know they
I
won
don't
Hans
have
Zimmer on the
exactly. Yeah.
score.
hmm
But yes, that makes sense, and that don't let my non-desire to watch it, and I'm sure I will one day, but take
Yeah.
away from the fact that that is what the Oscars should be about. It's not necessarily about the biggest movie, the best movie. It is about, in that category, who did it the best, and it completely makes sense because Denis is, although I'm not his biggest fan, master of his craft, and so is Hans Zimmer. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Well, you make a distinction that I don't think most people can make, which is like the understanding of someone's ability and your opinion on their work, which is it's very interesting. I don't think most people can do that shit. Because if someone doesn't like a movie, it's like trash, and that's all that it becomes. You
Well,
know what I mean?
it's like how I feel about, Tom Brady. Jesus Christ, I hate him
Oh yeah,
so much.
exactly.
I hate him so much, but I am also well aware that he is the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL.
hmm
You know, Tim, you must have grown up hating Derek Jeter. But guess what? You
Oh
know that
yeah,
Derek
yeah,
Jeter is the best
exactly.
New York shortstop that we've had in 50 years.
Probably yeah.
So if not ever, so people need to make that distinction. But I am also guilty of like being like, I saw this movie, I love this movie, I want it to win every award, but I know that's not how it works.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going. I mean, that's that. You want to know they made an award for that type of person, the fan favorite award, which I can't explain. I cannot explain the joy. Award that was meant to go to Spider-Man: No Way Home went to a Zack Snyder movie. Listen,
Not only,
I will rewatch No Way Home over Zombie the Dead, Army of the Dead, any day of the week, all the time, possibly forever, because
yeah,
it's Spider-Man. But I can't express how it makes me like feel good in my stomach that Spider-Man lost, just because that's the whole point. ABC, the pressure was created for this award to go to Spider-Man.
not even just that. They just wanted to figure out a way
Oh yeah,
to
well
give
exactly.
Spider-Man more of a pat on the back, which, listen, I love that movie. It's gotten adequately patted on the back. Like, it is
About
okay.
$1.5 billion pats on the back.
Pats on
You
the
know what I
back.
mean? Yeah.
So like, it doesn't need much more, but
Well, what a perfect thing for the night to go down with. And it's a Zack Snyder. And they're saying technically it's officially an award category, and he's the first ever.
I mean, listen, man,
I can't think of a more polarizing filmmaker to get something like that now.
I don't think he's polarizing as much as he's just, the internet loves him so hard, and that's it. I think that's pretty much the only group. And Netflix,
From my point of view, it's literally 50-50, like intense love, intense hate. Like
I mean,
intense.
Those are probably the loudest minority.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like it's of course the minorities. It's always the loudest is always and by minorities I mean smallest group. Not
No, you're speaking to a Hispanic man here, you son of a bitch. You better watch it, okay?
Oh boy, geez, I'm sweating here. Yeah, no, but no, it's really that. It's literally like out of a group of 50, maybe 10 on either end of the spectrum, screaming their hearts out, and then people in the middle are like, I guess, yeah, sure, why not? But how great in a mess of a show that it goes to Zack Snyder's zombie movie, and not even his best zombie movie, I'll say. Like, that's amazing, and it made me happy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think Zack Snyder is clearly an accomplished filmmaker. I liked Army of the Dead,
Yeah.
personally. I thought it was fine. But like the more that I watched it once and I'm like, okay, I did it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It didn't make sense in a lot of points. Does it deserve to be? Because that movie came out and people were like, cool, done. They
Yeah.
didn't speak about it for the rest of the year. And it was straight to Netflix, which no disrespect to movies straight to Netflix, but they're not getting as much of a
Netflix
promotion.
originals, yeah, exactly. Netflix originals are. I mean, you know what's funny is it's funny to say that there was a point very early on where Netflix original was like, "Have you seen this show? Oh, no, what's it on? It's on Netflix. Oh, interesting. It's only on Netflix, and they keep everything there, and they don't like everyone knows the whole thing with Netflix. You don't know their ratings. You don't know what's getting what.
Nothing.
So it was interesting at a time, and it's gotten to a point where it's like, wow, I'm scrolling through 50 things on Netflix that hey, look, produced by Netflix. I don't give a shit.
Well, bringing me back to the days of getting Lilyhammer just shoved down my throat with every single time I would go on my friends because I stole Netflix. What's up? Fire me.
They're going to make you pay for that. Have you heard that recently?
You son of a bitch. I'm not paying for a goddamn thing.
No, no. But like they're planning on
Oh,
however they're
okay.
going to figure it out.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. Awesome.
That's fucking crazy. They're pulling the Oscars move. They're trying everything they can for people to not use their platform anymore, even
because
though
they
it's still
need more
the biggest, I
money.
think. Yeah.
I guess whatever. But yeah, it was funny. That's the only way to think about it. And I think you know what. Also, if anyone deserves something to like someone to get a bone thrown at them, Zack Snyder. He has had quite half decade, boy. So if anyone deserves a little win and a little something in his pocket, I'm proud it's him because he's been put through the goddamn ringer.
It just seemed very on brand for the night. I'll say that. If someone this is in a package deal, like it had to go. There's no other multiverse where it didn't go down this way.
Yeah.
I'll say like I want to mark off the history moments just because it feels like genuinely important to Troy Kotzer. You didn't get to see Coda, did you?
Didn't see Coda, but it is so the last couple of years, I think they actually have been doing a good job recognizing not only people of color, but people with developmental I don't know if disabilities say. But yes, Troy Kotzer winning was very, very touching. And I thought that was really.
His speech was incredible.
Yeah. And I loved that when he stood up, everyone clapped sign.
I mean, that's just, there are some signs where it's like, sometimes you'd like to think that like the majority of people, and again, like repeating this majority minority thing, the majority of people are like, don't feel so strongly about everything all the time. You kind of hope, even though it doesn't seem like it all the time, you kind of hope a lot of people are like, hey, that's good to hear. He's the first deaf man, the second deaf person ever to win an award, the first deaf man. The other deaf person, Marley Matlin, his co-star in Coda, won, I think in 94 for, I don't know the film, but I know she won before, and that's pretty intense to see. You know.
Yeah, I have a lot of movie catching up to do. But from everything I've heard, well, that's not true. I shouldn't say everything I heard because Twitter hates everything, no matter how good it is.
As soon as it started pulling for like Frontline, like a lot of people were like, they called it Disney Channel original and all that shit, which is an insult to Disney Channel originals. Some of those were fucking good. Okay?
Well, no, I would say it's more. I'm saying it's more of a. If this movie is as well received as it is, if anything, that's boosting up those $80 million cook-off movies. You know what I mean? Those Xenon the
Zeros. I mean, they had it of unknown cast. They had people who, I mean, except for Marley Matlin, but like if you look at the box office numbers, she's not going to rake in people. You have a studio that they had so much trouble making it. It cost fucking barely anything to make it compared to everything else. So it's stuff like this that propels stuff forward, and it's pretty intense.
Yeah, I mean, good for them. Great. I think a great move for us as a human race, and the smart move to recognize a movie. And I'm not saying they did it because of a publicity thing or like an inclusivity thing. My understanding is that he had a strong performance and great.
I'll say that there's always a fucking an argument. I'll put in quotes because I think it's bullshit that you always hear is like, how about we just do the most qualified? And it's like, hey, that's what happened this time, except this time it was 4 of what you're used to and then 1 thing you're not used to. And then guess what? Of those 5 things where it could have gone to all of them, why not go to that one?
Yeah.
There's literally no argument not to, unless you have an agenda not for it to happen. You know what I mean? He was
Yeah.
incredible. So was Jesse Plemons. So does Cody Smith McPhee. J.K. Simmons, you know what? I could have been okay with it not going to him. He was fine in being the Ricardos, but those other performances were fucking killer.
That was the boomer one. That was the boomer one they threw in there. They were
exactly.
"Oh, you like Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball? Like, come on."
I'll say the same for Best Actor too. I enjoyed being the Ricardos. I don't think Aaron Sorkin should direct. I think he should only write. But
Ooh,
I don't think Javier Bardem. Well, I only liked the Trial of Chicago 7. I think that was interesting. I don't think Javier Bardem should have been in the running. I think they were like, I can name like 3, like Dev Patel in The Green Knight, 100% should have been considered incredible. Woody Norman, I saw Come On, like the Joaquin Phoenix movie.
Yep.
He takes his nephew on a road trip and they're doing a radio thing. This kid delivers like probably one of my top 3 favorite performances of last year. And he's like 9 years old. Throw him the fuck in, jumpstart his fucking career. Why don't you? You know what I mean? Like just because it's also coming to a point where most nominees are biopic nominees. And it's like, that is it lets people think like, oh, the epitome of acting is if you can be another person, not if you can just, put up a performance. And that's just a little disappointing. But, I
will flat out say too, and like, I might be showing my bias here, but I legitimately believe that Willem Dafoe should have been married, what should have been nominated for Spider-Man No Way Home. I legitimately believe that out of all the performances in that movie, his blew it out the water. And I think that is a very well acted movie. Like I think, and not even just pure evil, but like he also then does the other side of the coin where he
flips it and he's
being
a sad old man. Yeah.
But yes, I agree with everything that you're saying.
Yeah. And moving on to other, history, Ariana DeBose, the second Latina to win an Academy Award ever. How in 94 years, only 2? That's a little fucking crazy. And the only other one is Rita Moreno for the same fucking character in 1961.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
There's so many records being broken there. And not to mention, my favorite one to point out is the fact that only 3 characters in movie history have ever checked that off.
I don't know if you follow this kid on Instagram, a comedian of cinema, but I know these. You have Joker, you have Don Corleone, and now you have
Anita.
Anita, that's right.
Which is what a trio. First off, the number one comment I was getting is like, what a fuck, marry, kill that is. Okay, quick. Fuck, marry, kill. Joker, Don Vito, and Anita.
I got to see what it's like with the Joker, so I'll go to town on him. I guess I'll kill Corleone and I'll marry Anita. Why not?
That's a solid one. That's solid. Joker has got to be into some shit.
I truly believe that that role deserved the recognition that it got with Ariana DeBose, because she acts exceptionally well for
it's unbelievable.
A Latina to go in there. And also, my understanding, didn't speak Spanish going into that, so she also had to
I did not know that.
Yes, learn how to do all that stuff, act. And my God, that I Want to Be in America,
Dude, I was the only one in my theater watching that, and it was like electrifying. It's so it gets you moving, and it's so disappointing because just to talk about like how difficult it is to get people to go to a movie, especially now. I mean, now there are different caveats that you have to think about, obviously, but to get people to go to a movie theater, a West Side Story from Steven Spielberg barely made any money with a budget of like 115, 120 or something in that range million.
Yeah. I mean, the reality of it is that it was there, as you were saying, there were 100 variables that went into that. I'm sure in a different world, had we not been going through, still going through the pandemic, it would be very different. But she like hit it out the park, nailed it. That scene alone deserved it, and overall, I think she was exceptional. I have my issues with that movie personally, but overall, really, really strong performance.
Yeah, incredible. And I think she is the first. Is she the first openly queer to win?
I believe
ever?
So. Yeah.
Which is, why not check that box off as well?
Another box for him.
Yeah, man. I don't know. So hold on. There was a moment where they the only time that I think I might have actually laughed from something on purpose that was because of something by accident was Amy Schumer's joke coming in after the whole moment with Will Smith and Chris Rock. She
Yes,
walks in and she's
that
like,
moment.
yeah, yeah, after the moment that will forever be remembered from this, not like the major history making moments, but that moment. And well, has there ever actually been anyone else slapped during the Academy Awards? Might that be a history maker as well?
No, I think that it is a night of memories, and
Oh
because
yeah.
this is the first, to my knowledge, night of physical violence. Although I did hear that John Wayne had tried to assault.
Oh yeah. Oh well, if we might as well talk about this now because it's got me fucking heated. When it comes to like, you know, the controversial shit that you wouldn't think would be controversial, I don't put my opinion out there, whether it be in favor or against of any fucking thing. But there are people going like, well, because no, who wants to fucking hear what I have to say? That's constantly in my head all the time, forever. So the people that are like that hashtag ugliest Oscars moment, like, are you guys fucking pretending? Like, we're playing pretend. You're being silly. I work as a fucking doorman, and these old people in this neighborhood would be like, "I'll tell you, never been more unsafe in New York. You know, I walk around these streets and I'm constantly afraid." I'm like, "You're 70. You were alive in New York in the 1970s. Don't bullshit me." Travis Bickle is a character from the 1970s because that shit was the vibe of New York in 1970. Let's not fucking pretend.
Yeah, I mean, if you've ever watched the movie The Warriors,
Yeah.
that basically is what I envision, that decade, that entire decade in New York to be. David Berkowitz was like hanging out and just like chilling, talking to dogs, and then just
It's
like fucking,
unreal. And
yeah,
it's so infuriating because then you have people go, this was could you believe what happened? I'm like, not only did one, yeah, John Wayne tried to physically attack a Native American woman, he had to be physically held back. And then after that Native American woman went up, Clint Eastwood went up to either present or accept a award, I don't know. And he made a joke about her and everybody laughed because, hey, let's be, classy. Let's not physically attack her. Let's just verbally abuse her. And then let's not forget, I mean, there are countless moments from 94 years of like 99% of white people just having a great fucking time. 10 years ago, only 10 years ago, Billy Crystal, who hosted, which from what I remember, like he popped into other movies and it was actually having a good time. He did like blackface as Sammy Davis Jr.
so
This was
that,
only 10 years ago, man. And people were like, could you believe? Like, just
yeah.
don't get
Oh,
so jowly about it. You know what I mean?
well, it's just people tend to have a quick, excuse me, a short-term memory
Yeah.
when it comes to a lot of this stuff, and they only tend to go off of the things that are abundantly obvious, that they're able to point to and use as an excuse when they look at things that are a little more not necessarily nuanced for people like you and I, people with brains and huge wieners, but like what it means for people of color, when they see openly racist pieces of shit being
Yeah.
honored years and years and years and years and years
Yeah.
and years and years, what it means to women and survivors of abuse when men that have victimized women in the industry are consistently awarded for years and years and years and years and years. You know, it's the whole night, and I'm sure we'll get to it when we speak about that moment, but
Yeah.
the whole night is meant to be Hollywood just kind of jerking itself off.
Yeah.
And I don't think that you can convince me of otherwise ever. And I know that going into it, I watch it just saying like they're patting themselves on the back.
Yeah.
So of course they're not going to be critical of themselves unless they have to make an example of a person. But that's never going to happen. And when it does happen, which we might be in the midst of, it's going to be done in the worst possible way. But we'll
And
see.
there was, I mean, man, that was some shit. All right, you know what? Might as well fucking I'll get into it. I feel like we're teasing it right now.
While we're here.
Yeah, while we're here. He smacked the shit out of him. And he like that's a smack from an actor. He knows how to make it look good. He strutted up, posted up his fucking feet square and across. It was like a Dave Chappelle skit. Like just so perfectly fucking across. And then every photo is photogenic. Every photo of it is like his hands are perfect, and Chris Rock is face
Yeah.
smushed.
Well, this is the thing. I guess let's talk about this first and
Yeah.
foremost. I don't know where I am in terms of the whole thinking it was a work or
Mhm.
thinking it was a shoot. Like was it something that they planned? Was it something they didn't plan?
Mhm.
I am going to from here on assume that it was legit. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't like I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. So like I'm never going to make myself go crazy trying to convince myself that something that is just
Yeah.
like all these pieces line up.
Up next, is the moon cheese? Let's get our first
Yeah,
caller. Yeah,
exactly. So I have to say, boy, oh boy, if I got smacked like that on live TV, I would not take it like a champ as
Oh,
Chris.
he took it the only thing that went right about that night was Chris Rock not doing a cavalcade of things you could do after being smacked in front of billions of people and your peers. Like the best possible thing he could have done was just be like, oh, okay, I guess we're gonna just keep going. Huh? All right, the next award, we're giving out a documentary. We're not giving out we're giving out an award to a document. Like, and it's so disappointing. Imagine like, I don't know. I think that if it happened at any point in the ceremony, it would have ruined the entire night. But like to have it happen before like a significant amount of awards that had to be given out, and awards for like best documentary and all this other stuff. He handled it the only good way out of so many.
Oh, you mean Chris Rock?
Chris Rock? Yeah. Oh no. Will Smith could have done a bunch of other things as well.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that people forget that Chris Rock is a legend.
Yeah.
Like they really do. They really only think of him as kind of like another stand-up comic. Mm-hmm. But Chris Rock has been doing this at doing his job at a high level for close to 30 years now.
Yeah.
So not surprised, but at the same time, like, what are you going to do in that situation? Like this grown ass man that's inches taller than you, has weight on you, just came up in front of the whole world and smacked the dog shit out of you. What are you gonna do? Listen, I know Chris Rock is from Brooklyn.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
Brooklyn
it's gonna be
down, but like he's been in the industry long enough to know that like it's not the first one that throws the punch that gets in the fight. It's the person that the one
exactly. And I would also say, I mean,
gets in trouble.
He's got decades of. I mean, he's a comic. He's a stand-up. He knows how to kind of deal in the moment with things, and I don't think that any other maybe like regular maybe like actor or celebrity would have handled it as well. Oh God, I don't. Yeah, and there's no way he thought he was getting hit. I don't think that any part of that.
See that he winces a little bit, but like anyone that's about to get hit, your body like instantly.
Yeah, but no, I mean like there's no way he's standing there and like he sees Will Smith walking toward. He's like, oh, like and then you have to be prepared. Like, is he gonna like fake jab? Is he gonna go for the gut? Is he gonna just be like, hey, you fucking nutso, or just anything? I think part of me would have been like, Will Smith's not about to hit me, is he?
Well, also, well, my understanding, him and Will Smith are buddies. Like they're cool, or they, I think they are now too. But like, I wouldn't. That's like, bro. That's like if I walked up to you, like the first thing you wouldn't think is that I'm going to hit you.
Exactly.
Like, oh, here he comes. He's a comedian. Like, oh, he's probably, Chris Rock is like, oh, he's probably going to say something back, cut my ass a little bit.
Yeah,
but boy, oh boy, let me tell you, we're so used to the genie, Men in Black. Pursuit of Happiness, Will Smith, on Disney Plus, jumping into volcanoes and shit, that we fucking forgot that Will Smith is from West motherfucking Philly, boy. Jesus. And it is just funny because like I try to look at every situation with nuance. Like it's not as clear as like he was wrong, she was wrong. Two or believe it or not, more than 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 100 things can be true at once. Mm-hmm. Did Will Smith handle that poorly? Yes. Did Chris Rock probably strike a nerve? Well, he definitely struck a nerve, but also yes,
could he had not have like, and what the funny thing is like people were like, was that part of the his bit in the ceremony? And they confirmed that was ad-libbed, which I mean, the joke
Go ahead,
Well,
say
yeah,
it.
I'll say it. I'll fucking say it. We're analyzing here, right? What I'm not gonna do is be that person that's like, let's break this down, because I feel like that's a very specific type of channel and profile that does that type of stuff. But he called her GI Jane because she had a shaved head, and it was what who was the actress? It was a movie from fucking 2006 or something.
G.I. Jane? No, I believe
Yeah,
that was before that. Demi Moore, wasn't it?
Demi Moore. Yeah, but it was a pretty, other than the meaning of the joke, which is rude and kind of disheartening. It was a pretty shitty joke too. It was kind of like off the cuff. Just you didn't the
Well,
entire you could have not said it at all.
he says that it was a GI Jane joke.
Yeah,
The
but
the reality of the situation is apparently,
yeah,
and I don't really know because I don't keep up to date with this stuff, is Jada Pinkett Smith has been very vocal as of late that she
suffers from
suffers
alopecia.
from alopecia.
Yeah.
Which again, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I am not, and I am assuming that I'm more in touch with pop culture than Chris Rock is, but at the same time, he's also friends with him. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and try to parse through like, did he know? Did he not know? That's not the point of it. Yes, you could call it distasteful, absolutely, especially because women of color have been told for years and years and years to kind of just take things on the chin and roll with it, and finally someone stood up for them, granted in a very public forum, but
a way that spoke louder than any other. Like, let's have a talk about why you shouldn't do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And, it's not like, should it have been handled differently by Will Smith? Yes. Should Chris Rock have made that joke? Probably not. Like, you can absolutely argue both sides of it. But my favorite thing is that people are acting like this motherfucker went up there with a machete or a baseball bat.
That's exactly. He
and
didn't
beat him to a
fucking
pulp.
execute him point and blank or anything. He fucking smacked the shit out of him. That happens. Could it have happened backstage? That probably would have been better. But then the Oscars would have been boring and bad. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the way it is.
Bro, my wife had one of the best things that have come out of this. And like, again, I'm not saying what I'm not going to sit here and subscribe to a particular mentality of like, shame this person, shame that person.
Yeah.
But like, boy, Twitter has been quite the minefield. And someone had tweeted like, you're finally now realizing that people didn't go to public schools where fist fights were scheduled at 7:50 in the morning. My wife had retweeted that. And I was like, God damn, you're right. Bro, he went up there, he open hand smacked him and then sat his ass down and then just told him to keep his mouth shut. Bro, that's the nicest way I've ever seen some beef handled.
Oh yeah, he could have speared him like fucking Edge. He could have taken his ass out in a cavalcade of ways. The best part about that to me is the fact that a mere 20 minutes later, 25 minutes later, he wins Best Actor. He wins Best Actor for, I'm going to also say that, a very, very incredibly good performance from an incredible film. Another, 4 out of those 5, I could have given that award to. I had no preference, maybe Andrew Garfield a little bit more because I like Andrew Garfield, but incredible. And forever there will be people being like, and over who even liked that movie? Who even saw that movie? And that'll be just, that's actual things I've heard, which is like, he didn't even deserve it. It's like, bro, let's stop doing kiddie shit. Let's stop fucking playing pretend.
Bro, you're saying that if you haven't seen that movie's exceptional.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And it's on HBO Max right now. Go and fucking watch it. It's good.
It's long. I will say that it's long, but it doesn't feel its length quite as much as some other movies that I've seen. But boy, I don't, this is the part that I think is what is just like same old for me. Like, and this is the Oscars is like, if you want to sit there and virtue signal, because that's what people have been doing. They've been virtue signaling. It's like, if you believe that was okay, unfollow me. Like, violence is not okay. And it's like, no fucking shit. Violence is not okay. No one's saying violence is okay. But then like the fact that he got up 5 minutes later, 25 minutes later, whatever it was, and was applauded for winning, Best Actor for this movie. That's the point where it's like, there it is. There's the
Mhm.
Hollywood I know.
Yeah.
There they are. They're showing their old ugly head again, and nothing new, unfortunately.
And you know what he got? And what's amazing about this is we're able to talk about this. What is it? It's Tuesday night now. We're able to talk about this with like a lot of understanding about the situation more than in that moment in the Discovery Theater. So imagine like he got a standing ovation after his speech, and for a plethora of fucking reasons. There could have been people who were like you don't, maybe someone in there doesn't know that Jada's suffering from alopecia. Maybe they think that, maybe there are people who were like, yeah, we thought it was a joke until he started fucking screaming at him and cursing. And then the entire situation changes. It's just interesting that that's going to be one of those moments that, like I was saying the other day, this is going to be like the humanity needed a new thing that wasn't global war to talk about. You know what I mean? That wasn't like sickness or murder or like constant bombing of like children's hospitals. They needed a water cooler moment, like Janet Jackson's fucking nip coming out, or what happened at the Oscars 5 years ago with Moonlight and fucking La La Land. You know what I mean? This is something that like, but it also so happened to take off every check mark when it comes to race and gender relations.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's no surprise. And then again, you have the conspiracy theorists that are out there like, oh, they were just trying to get views and they just wanted people to watch. I don't necessarily subscribe to that, but even if they were, it fucking worked. Like, it shows you exactly what they were trying to do. Got hook, line, and sinker. People will talk about this aggressively for another week and a half, and then it'll be the next time we hear about it will be New Year's when someone brings it back up, and they're like, "Oh my god, that happened! That's right, that did happen."
Let's go through the year and talk about what went down. Remember,
it's also like fine, bro. Like realistically, like if it was beef between them, like you let them, bro. You and I grew up in New York. If people had beef, you let them handle it, and then when it's done, it's done. Like you when it's squashed, as we said over, growing up in New York, when it's squashed, it's squashed. So like, if they want to,
it's also in a whole other. It's in the realm of fucking Hollywood. It's like they're like someone said they're going to show up at the Super Bowl. It's going to be a Tostitos commercial, and then Will's going to be like, "Man, these fucking chips slap." And then Chris is going to look scared or some bullshit. Like it's going to happen at some point. You know what I mean? Like the monetization of everything.
Well, now I'm telling you now, I don't know if you remember the show, but a couple of years ago, I'm pretty sure it was NBC had a show called The Slap, where Zachary Quinto just smacked the shit out of this kid. And yo, bro, I know you know this, Tim, but if you guys don't know this, go back and look it up. Zachary Quinto, who questionable guy, not sure where I land on him because he's got some bad things about him out there. He
was a great Spock.
Yeah. He dog smacks. I mean, like just like cocks back and hits this little kid in the show. Jesus. Obviously it's a show, but like now they got a season 2, baby. Like they are ready to go. Like there's going to be a whole documentary
for sure,
or like little mini series made about it. About like one episode about Chris Rock, one episode about the. Oh, I mean, they've got the basis for it. The Slap season 2 coming soon.
And you know what's funny is if there's one good thing about like the monster, the fucking abyss that is the internet. So like a bunch of people like instantly go searching for something wrong, and I don't give a like. Of course, people are going to bring up the talking funny, like the most elitist fucking thing between Seinfeld, Gervais, Louis C.K. and Chris Rock. Everyone knows about that. It comes up every 5 years, and everyone gets outraged for a second, and then disappears again until the next time. Someone found from when he hosted the Oscars, I don't know, was it 8 years ago or 7? When a lot of people were boycotting the Oscars, and Jada didn't go, and Chris Rock had a joke about how Jada, who wasn't nominated for anything, boycotting is like him boycotting Rihanna's pussy, which one good joke. Fine, we'll say that. But like, hey, you know what? You stuck around maybe a little too long in this material. And then you got the shit slapped out of you.
You should like, apparently I think someone had said that like this is not the first time that he's made Jada jokes on TV, like outside of that.
Oh, probably. And also like we live in 2022 right now. Will Smith and Jada have been in the public eye, some at their own like, ability to give it out freely, because that's where we are with celebrities. Like the pedestal is fucking canyon sized. We know a lot about their relationship, and we know a lot about Will. And someone made a joke that Will Smith started his press tour for King Richard saying he vomits every time he comes, and he ended it with smacking the shit out of Chris Rock. And it's like that. It's like, you know what? Maybe, and everyone's pointing out that he laughed at first, like he did, and maybe it might just be like, maybe he didn't find it funny. Maybe it's like, you know what? That's my pal up there. I'm gonna support him by laughing, by making the audio of laughter. You know what I mean? Just, ha, ha, ha. And then everyone shows Jada rolling her eyes, and it's in that moment where he's like, you know what? This is, if I don't do this, who knows what'll happen? You know, there's always jokes to be made, but if I don't do this, then there's something. Then it's what I have to do. Is what he, I guess, what went down.
I'm not going to sit here and try to parse through why he made his decision. The fact of the matter is that, like I said, people fucking forgot that he's from West Philadelphia, born and raised, and he showed them, and he was like, oh yeah. You know what didn't do him any favors? The fact that he came up in the rapping game talking about parents just don't understand.
Oh yeah,
like, like, oh, the summertime, and now he's like, yo, but I'll pimp smack the fuck
someone said he should start rapping again and start cursing in his raps.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Reg.
Will, this is your chance. I mean, he apologized already, which I thought it was a well-written apology. What else can you do other than be like, sorry? But like, this is your chance now to. He did the whole dad bod thing, which I thought was pretty cool. Redo everything, get like rap and fucking go into it, and get face tattoos. Why don't you get a bunch of face tattoos and go fucking nuts with it and shit? You know, go and just redo his entire internet persona. Is like the guy that's like, I fucking got a haircut while boogie boarding today. It's fucking nuts, guys. Go check out my YouTube video, and you can really point it into a whole other direction now.
Listen, man, it wouldn't be capitalism if we didn't find a way to make money off of this.
Oh yeah. And he accepts the award, and whoever spoke to him in between that time gave him excellent pointers. Because I believe, like, there have been times where, like, I mean, if you get into a physical fight, or maybe even just like a really intense emotional like screaming fight with someone, you can't control yourself by the end of it. You're too jittery, you're too, you know, any exertion of like mental and physical emotion is like you're all over the place. So him crying at that, I totally fucking related to that, to being like, I'm all over the place right now. These tears aren't for the award, obviously, because at that point the night is bigger than the awards, unfortunately. But they really, that speech went extraordinarily well. I guess from that he, and then there are clips of him at the after party just fucking
getting
crushing it on the, he's killing it. He's getting jiggy with, he's killing it. It's so great.
Yeah, man. I mean, bro, listen, you wanted this guy to compose himself in 35 minutes. If anyone's going to do that, it's going to be, I believe he was spoken to by Denzel and
Tyler Perry,
which, like, bro, if anyone's going to talk me into like calming down, you got Denzel and you got Tyler Perry. You know, Tyler Perry's just back there just ripping Hiller and just Medea all over. And you got Denzel.
Oh, God.
You know, so yeah, it's such a weird thing to talk about. And then, you know, all these people that are like calling for Will Smith's head in the Academy to like strip.
It's so fucking, it's just so,
like, bro, it's
spazzy.
Was it stupid? Yes. He went and did the right thing, spoke to the guy off on the side, you know, and my understanding is they made up like behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But like, everyone's always saying, like, you know, like people forgot, like when people say like fuck around and find out, like Chris Rock fucked around, found out.
Oh yeah. And his ticket sales for his next tour fucking flew in the air.
Yeah.
He's going to fill arenas.
Capitalism, baby.
And you know what? I would get a ticket and just love to hear what do you, there's a shot of him just before getting hit, and he's making like this intense like grin, like his hand is right here. I know it in his head. He's thinking that. And I'm like, what do you do? What do you do if someone, I would have cried. I would have just puddle immediately if that happened.
Something that has also happened and come from this is, I don't know if you have seen, but for some reason, of all people, Tom Segura is just going off.
Oh God!
On the internet, and I'm going to see him at Madison Square Garden.
He's here. I actually saw today. He like just landed in New York, and
Bro, I am going to see him this Thursday, so that is going to be quite the show.
it's so disappointing. Also, like just to talk about, comedians that kind of put their hats out there. I'm very weary now with comics that I like, because where it's like, hey man, I really want to still be your fan. And with Segura, like he just, it sounded like his character that he does, DJ Dogmouth. It sounded like, calling Jada like a bald bitch and all that shit. It's so aggressively aggressive that it didn't seem. I don't know. I don't want to fucking assume.
No, it does. It does. And that's what I said. Like I was talking to my wife about this. Like this doesn't seem on brand with him. Like it's very out there.
Because they've always done the comedians support comedians thing, which is understandable. Comics are always gonna. The comics that are like kind of no name being like, well, what if someone comes up and hits me? And I was like, hey man, no one's gonna fucking hit you. No one cares about you. It's more about like the comedians are always going to band together for what? And unless it's like, like a fucking rape allegation, then they're going to totally dip and delete every podcast episode that they have of you. It's done. That's how it is. So I expected support. And I just actually watched, because I'm on YouTube, I'm a member of the membership thing where you get the podcast a day early. And I guess it was recorded just before maybe the Oscars. So there's no mention of it. On the next one, maybe they'll do something, but I'm so hoping that it's not like as aggressive as that tweet, because that's going to be a little disheartening.
Well, he's made a couple aggressive tweets, which
I haven't seen any others. I've only saw the first one.
Oh, they get worse progressively.
Oh no, you watch the podcast, right?
I watched the like clips.
Is he going to end up on the fucking the cool guys? Some type of aggressive just. Jesus, man, I don't know. And then you have people like
go out. You'll see it once you see it. You'll know what I'm talking about.
Oh, no. All right. Well, we didn't even talk about like Coda winning Best Picture or anything like that.
I mean, that's what's fucked up about this whole thing, is that like it's taken away from everything else that has been successful about the night. I mean, we saw as you were saying with Riz Ahmed, with Ariana DeBose, with Troy Kotzer. Coda, these are all things that people should be screaming from the rooftops, because it is a step in the right direction. Like we have said over the last couple, Oscars so white, they're not doing the right thing for people, a well-represented community. And they have been. And I think the first big step was Moonlight. And then you saw, with Parasite, and it seems like they are trying to be a little more inclusive with their recognition. And this was an example of that. But then at the same time, you had a black man smacking the dog piss out of another black man on fucking, on the stage. So one step forward, two steps back, baby. That's what people are going to latch onto, is like the most flashy and appropriate thing that's going to get the clicks. So,
yeah. I'm going to look through that thing I put out on Instagram just to see if there's any other things besides this shit to talk about.
Now, I guess I'll ask you a question is, where do you think the natural progression, or should they completely do a complete 180, should go in terms of the host situation next year? Not necessarily with the people, but just like the way it was done.
I think they did great without any hosts. I think the last three before this were done without hosts, and it was fine. You have someone come out, introduce, you have someone like Tom Hanks or fucking, show up, be like, hey, welcome. And then you just have presenters come out. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Jason Momoa and, fucking Jessica Chastain. And they talk about whatever. And then that's all you got to do. What else do you really? I mean, we've also just proven that like, there's also a whole other like level to the weird Hollywood hierarchy to have someone who'd be like, yeah, I'm a host master. I come out and I talk about things before the things, you know what I mean? So I think they did fine. I like the idea of the three hosts too. I think you can exchange it and have people come do specific things,
I think you need to get three people that are like, they have a lot of great chemistry.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, like, you don't want a couple of fucking rusty spoons up there just bouncing shit around. It's got to be.
Put me and you up there. We could do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
I'll accept that paycheck.
I mean, at that point, it's like, and they also like, God, The Rock would have been great with Wanda Sykes and Regina Hall. That's such a.
Yeah, but you know what? I think people are starting to a little bit just kind of get
Rock fatigue.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that
I get that.
they're being like a little like, okay, all right. Like he's gonna like enter from the Iron Paradise, and he's gonna come out like, ah, Terramana, yes. You know,
Oh yeah,
um,
I think
same with
any other
Ryan Reynolds.
network.
People are starting to see Ryan Reynolds as like, oh, okay, it's cute.
Mhm.
All right.
Who do you think is the next new celebrity that people are going to be like, oh, I could watch him in anything. You know what I mean?
Ooh, well, I mean, it seems like Tom Holland is on his way there. Um,
Yeah. He
surprisingly,
certainly
Uncharted,
is doing everything.
yeah, and Uncharted didn't do poorly at the box office for
Uncharted secured a franchise at the box office. Uncharted
yeah,
made sure they're having a fucking trilogy at least. But yeah, and I don't know. I'm not a huge Uncharted. I've only played the fourth one. I didn't mind the movie.
yeah. Well, I played all of them. In my
Yeah,
opinion, the first three were overrated. I thought the fourth one was good.
yeah,
I think you have to take people
yeah.
that no one like hates. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
and right now, I think we're in a place right now. No one is like against Tom Holland. No one's against Zendaya either. I think I think she can do it well. She's proven that
Yeah.
she can act. Obviously, she has some comedy chops to her.
Mhm.
Maybe give her a shot at it. Who knows?
Yeah.
Simu
Someone,
Liu. Simu
yeah,
Liu he's dripping with charisma. Are you
perfect.
kidding me?
Oh yeah, for sure. Someone asked here, oh, someone said talk about the weirdly joyful in memoriam. Dude, that shit was like a clown show.
They should have been playing that music that they do in any like British like comedy where it's like
They I mean basically they did, and you know what's funny is it happened immediately after the award that happened after the slap. So I tweeted out like, are we real? I don't remember the song was. I was like, are we really listening to like, I'll just say like Highway to Hell while a bunch of people
yeah,
dance around and there's fucking people showing up.
yeah, it
Jamie
was
Lee Curtis shows up with a dog. It's like, is this a fucking like a Old Spice commercial? What the fuck is going on?
it was
It's the
very
most like,
weird.
it's like weirdly insensitive. Like you can tell like Bill Murray came out for Ivan Reitman, and that one I felt something for, and it had like a punk rock feel. And then they switch up songs, and you have people running around and doing circles and shit. And it's like, guys, this is a mess. This is a
Listen,
mess.
it felt like when I was in college, I was an RA, resident assistant, as people, and one of the things that I did, because I was involved with like my office, like helping out and planning events. One of the things I did was I made like the like end of the year video
Mhm.
on my MacBook at 2 a.m. as I was drunk. And like, this is what that felt like. It was clearly put together by someone who was just like, oh shit, like I forgot. Who's going to be there? Jamie Lee Curtis, bring her
Mhm.
out,
Yeah.
like, oh shit. It was, a disaster. But as you said before, dog's asshole. You love watching that disaster.
Oh, for
And
sure.
you have to at least appreciate that they went for it. It landed flat on its face, but hey, man, that's
Yeah.
the Oscars for you.
And I never focus on when they miss people because they always leave people out forever. It happens every year, and everyone's surprisingly raged by it again. Um, like Bob Saget was left out, and
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, but like guys, let's maybe because he was a Full House guy and not a movie guy or some shit. You know what I mean?
I mean, he directed a very underrated comedy in the 90s called Dirty Work.
I've never seen Dirty Work.
Holy shit, dude.
I need to check it out now. I'll check it out.
Bro, Artie Lang and Norm Macdonald.
Oh
It
yeah,
is
Norm I think was left out too. Yeah, yeah.
so good.
Wow, I'll check it out. How
It
have I
is.
never heard of Dirty Work?
Oh my god, dude, it is so good. Chris Farley has a great, cameo in it. You need to watch it. It's so good.
I'll definitely check it out. Someone said, talk about Josh Brolin being groped by Regina Hall during
I mean,
that whole thing.
listen, I'm
I was gonna not talk. I was gonna not bring that up. I was like, let's see
listen.
what
I mean,
happens.
Josh Brolin, good looking dude. Everyone, keep your hands to yourself.
Well,
Yes.
that's one of those things that they were in on. Also, they had the whole joke of like, yep, I'm coming up and all that. I am always weary of people that immediately and it's always primarily dudes that go if it was reversed, because it's like, yeah, well, the majority of the time, almost all the time, it's always reversed, and no one
Yeah.
really is outraged by it. So
You
kind
mean
of relax
when
for
it
a second.
was- Yeah, you mean like when it was reversed?
When
Like,
when it's reversed, like at like their job and shit like that, like it's always the same with the people who immediately go like that to Amy
that's the
Schumer,
most
that
Ben
immediately snap.
Shapiro like way to approach
Exactly.
it. Like,
Exactly.
listen, you want to tell me that you want to fight for not being groped and then you're going to grope someone on stage? It's
And
like,
this
oh,
is why
shit.
it's actually harder to be a man. It's like, get the fuck out of here. Stop with this bullshit.
Yeah, men are being paraded around now like lab rats, basically.
And someone said talk about the Batman. So we can totally take a break from this bullshit. And Oscar talk is over. It's Batman time, bitch.
It's always Batman time in my house, baby.
Dude.
Exceptional.
What'd you think?
Exceptional. There, when you walk out of there on a high.
Oh yeah.
And you hope that you don't come down from it. For instance, I walked out of Rise of Skywalker on a high and I was like, whoa. Yeah. And then I literally put one brain cell into the movie and I was like, whoa, hold on, that sucked. Bro,
there's always going to be a recency bias, but this is the one where it's like you gotta, always take time with something. I watched it, I think in the first week, 3 times in the first week, with 3 days separate in each viewing, and holy fuck, it's something else.
It was, and I will say this, it was the best. I know they didn't have it when I was there. I was so pissed, dude.
It was like $30, and it only holds like that much popcorn, which is fucking.
That's okay. That's all right.
It's. The quality is fucking pretty good. It
I'm
looks like.
I'm a little pissed at that because I went literally and I was like, yes, please, and they were like, no, we're all out.
Yeah. I was with 4 other people and they're like, you're really getting them? I'm like, yes, this is going right. I'm moving a bunch of stuff around.
Yeah. I have a podcast. I need to put stuff behind me.
I'm moving stuff around. This is going right there. But yeah, no, God damn.
Yeah, no, it's the best representation of a graphic novel in movie form.
Yeah.
It flowed really well. It was well acted. You at no point in time, like, I didn't think the movie felt its length. I thought it was.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well. It's such a quick 3 hours, like unheard of.
And it all rhymed and made sense. When we went from this person to that person, back to that person, I followed it. And at no point in time was I like, well, it all made sense. It was really well done. Paul Dano needs to get just sent to the moon in terms of success.
Incredible.
And popularity.
I'd go up there. I'd say he's one of the best villain performances in a comic book movie ever.
I would honestly, I don't know about comic book movie ever because it's tough, but in terms of Batman movie, within top 3 for me.
Yeah, for sure.
And everyone's always going to talk about Heath Ledger, but I think what he did, he was smarmy. He was a little prick. He was chilling in a way, and it was just. I really like. I think it's one of my favorite Batman movies. Definitely one of my favorite movies this year, easily.
Oh yeah, it's such a heavyweight, and it clicked in so many excellent ways. Like the moment, like I said, every scene leads into the next scene perfectly, which is why there's something so great about hearing Matt Reeves talk about like the character and the story, and because he knows what he's doing and he knows what he's talking about, like cutting the deleted scene with Barry Keoghan as Joker. I like the scene. Brilliant fucking move. It's 100%. He said it's something we learn, in other moments of the movie. It's like, there you go. There's no fat on this movie whatsoever. And it's a 3-hour movie, which never happens.
I mean, if for anyone that has not seen the Matt Reeves Planet of the Apes movies, I think like that was what I kept looking back on and just saying like, I have faith, because he took such a wacky concept and not only grounded it in reality to a degree, but like made you legitimately care for you. Like you forgot that they were CGI characters and like it was just so well done. So the way that he was able to bring, humanity to a character that we've seen so many times was awesome. And like that's also going back to Pattinson, like, the idiots in the audience will just sit there and be like, oh, the Twilight did. But what he did with Batman was the next logical step. And it's a
Mhm.
character we've seen 100 million times.
And he
You
made
know,
it fresh.
yeah, he
80,
did.
80
Of
years of a
course.
character, and he made an entirely, re-envisioned version of the character that it's impossible to go through 80 years of one thing and be like, God, can they maybe change something up? And he changed something up. You know what I mean? And it happens with every filmmaker, whether like, Chris Nolan brought Batman back to life after Batman and Robin, and it's just every single time there's a jump forward, and this one is so mutated in that it's like it's a very different version of Bruce Wayne. It's a very different. He's so tormented emotionally and mentally that you give him so much more room to fucking grow. We get like genuine character development. He starts out the movie. I just saw him. Matt Reeves talk about it today. Like when he saves the guy in the beginning of the movie, he forgets that he's there because all he's there to do is beat the shit out of people. And
Yeah.
he's just reliving like what he wished he could have done and all that stuff. And by the end of the movie, like it's one of my favorite moments of the movie is him sticking around and like reassuring the person, the lady being lifted by the helicopter. It's like the guy in the beginning never would have done that. And he needed to meet a version of himself in the Riddler that one, I mean, obviously like he has the privilege of having all the resources and the money and all that, but a version of him that was just even deeper in the vengeance than he was.
And again, it rhymes, that starting off with who are you, vengeance, and seeing how that naturally progresses to the idea of what vengeance is, not just for him, but what it is for the people around him, and how that the subjectivity of what vengeance can be, how that plays into who he is as a role model in that city is something that I loved. Something that I feel like got a little bit of attention because, like the film buffs out there always, talk about it at one point, but like what really tied everything to me like really well together was the score.
Michael
Michael
Giacchino fucking killed it.
The start of that movie is, and you see the natural progression. Think of all the music that we've heard for Batman. For the most part, it's all exhilarating. You have Hans Zimmer,
it's horns and all that. Yeah, exactly.
You have the Danny Elfman of it all with the triumphant bum 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 bum. Like you're presenting Batman as this iconic hero, and that's good. Giacchino coming from a place of like, it starts off kind of like a horror element to it, where it's like, it's low, there's a lot of bass, and it invokes, a feeling of fear, and having that evolve through the movie to get to that place of triumph. It's incredible, and it's one of the few times I could say that I tend to listen to, like, I haven't done it in a while because I haven't been in school in a while, but like when I really get into it, I put music scores on, and that's what I would use to do my homework and write papers when I was in college. And this is one of those that like I will go back to again and again and again, because it is not only so good, but it tells the story in the music. After you see the movie, go listen to his main theme again, and it replays it all in your head. It's beautiful.
Walking like in the street or getting on the subway and listening to down, 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 like it puts you in such a state. And it's also very rare, I think, now that like I'll say I'll limit it to comic book movie scores. It's a standout. Like not a lot of things like you could play let's just say Doctor Strange's score or something, and I wouldn't.
Also Giacchino.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. Then maybe it's a fucking fluke or something. No, I mean, like, I can't associate a score with a character anymore. The Avengers score, iconic, automatically associated with the MCU and Marvel, but and Spider-Man, but Spider-Man is, that's been around for fucking ever. This is something fresh, brand new, and like mutated off of Nirvana, which has such a fucking tangible vibe to something like that. Yeah, exactly. And to pair that with Greg Fraser, who just won Best in Cinematography for Dune, with his visuals, which is like it's a parallel thing where it's like it's dirty and it's always raining, and these are just aspects that like creatively, aesthetically, it's so nice to see so much work put into something like that. And then you have the great story and the great performances and the great everything else about it that it's going to lead to,
Yeah. No, honestly, like I'm sure if I nitpick, I can find things I really didn't like, or not really didn't like, but like things they can do better. But just a well-made movie, well acted, well directed. The score was great. It was edited well. I was so elated, and when I found out that it's coming to HBO Max on April 19th,
Oh yeah,
I got this big screen down here in the basement, buddy. I'm throwing that son of a bitch on.
all the time, all the fucking time. And I'm not much one for getting hot, the hot toys, the really like accurate 1/12 inch or those scale ones. I think it's the only one I want to get.
You're asking me if I know a thing about toys? Do you
Yeah,
not see?
I think it's the only one I'm gonna get because of how like this suit looks fucking insane. The suit looks
Yeah.
so good and it's so intimidating. And apparently, like according to Pattinson, it was like super comfortable, which never happens with these things. He was like, yeah, you
Never,
could
ever, ever.
never. You could articulate everything with these, and it's the only one that I want to get, and I definitely want to put it up somewhere. And yeah, no, just every aspect of this movie, it just really killed it.
Yeah, I was really pleased. I'm very excited to see where they go next. I will say though, if Reeves doesn't stick on for
Mhm.
whatever amount of movies that they have planned, that'll be a little disappointing because again, it was his vision
He
with
has to.
the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and guys, if you have not seen those movies, watch them. I'm not gonna. I think it
And
was like
it's really funny.
Rise,
He
Dawn.
he actually only did the second and the third. The first one I don't know who did it. The second one, he did Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War for the Planet of the Apes. Both, by the way, just
Except
alone in incredible films.
those are the better
Truly,
two of the three.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, for sure.
without a
I mean,
doubt.
the first one is weighed down by like James Franco and a bunch of other shit, but these other two are fucking phenomenal. And he's also done. I mean, he did Cloverfield, which I saw after the way after.
One of my
Yeah,
favorite monster movies of all time.
I saw after the craze, and even I was like, guys, have you heard of Cloverfield? And they're like, that thing that people thought was real, yeah. And it's incredible. And Let Me In, he's the only filmmaker I've ever seen to remake a foreign horror film and it'd be better than the original. Have you ever seen Let Me In
No,
with Chloe Grace Moretz and
I know,
Cody
I know.
Smith
It's
McPhee? Yeah,
the vampire one.
it's like perfectly terrifying. It has some insanely emotional moments, and you can see the every filmmaker has that like thumbprint. You can see that in like the horror scenes of this, like when Riddler's in the dark and you don't see him until the TV lights up, and
Yes,
oh, so fucking good.
it
So
was really,
it's
really
also
well.
not a coincidence. It's like it's another horror film director who's doing a comic book movie, and it's like, hey, this is creatively distinct. This looks like nothing else right now. Nothing else feels like this exactly. So
Yeah,
yeah, goddamn.
agree.
Uh, and also fucking Colin Farrell as Penguin. The
Oh my god.
the funniest moment of that movie is him correcting them on their Spanish, and then them
Well,
showing the photo of the rats.
and he's like, "Oh, sweetheart."
What are you showing me?
Oh, the reason
Open
it's
your
funny to us,
eyes.
the reason it's funny to us is because we know people like that actually
Oh yeah,
speak like that, where they're like, "Oh, sweetheart, let me see what you got under that blouse," and it's like you've met people like that, so it's like, yeah, I know exactly who that is.
yeah, yeah. What is this Riddler? Stupid or something? Like I had me
Yeah.
like
Oh, a couple
just,
world's greatest detectives over
yeah,
here.
yeah. Just such a great character. Or my favorite line. I made the joke. I want it to be on my tombstone. I want his response to Falcone. I'll spray paint your ass on my tombstone. It has to be like if my family goes against that, I'm gonna if I have to, I'll haunt them. It's
Do
fuck.
it.
That's the funniest goddamn thing in the world. I'll spray paint your ass. Just about to shoot him in front of cops. Ah, so good. Fucking John Turturro, excellent as Falcone.
Yeah, I've never really seen him act, and I thought he did a great job.
And be like pure intimidation. I mean, the most for me was like if I were to nitpick is the old fashioned mafia, like my blood, my own flesh and blood, all that. But like, hey man, you were a rat. Loyalty of blood means nothing. You know what I mean? And
Well, that's the point. Yeah.
yeah, but also like if you want to talk about inspiration, this is like I mean, this is who's the fucking guy that Black Mass was made after that Johnny Depp did.
Oh,
The guy who
I
talked
know
to
who you're
the
talking.
yeah.
I know who you're talking about. His name
Whitey
will come.
Bulger. Whitey Bulger. Yeah, yeah.
There it is. There it is.
That's exactly a crime boss, rat into the fucking FBI or rat into the force. You know what I mean? And also there was a guy I heard this story recently. My uncle told me about this. There was a guy who who was forced to rob a bank or an establishment with a fucking neck bomb.
Bro,
That happened in real life.
bro,
I
you
didn't
didn't
know
see
that.
that documentary on Netflix?
No.
Bro, it's called Evil Genius, and it's the story of that.
Oh shit.
Be prepared. I want to make sure you're
Yeah.
aware that if give
Yeah.
you any notification, you see it go off in the
Fuck.
documentary. Watch the documentary. It is very, very good.
I'll definitely check it out because I thought it was like a nod towards the guy that had to wear the bomb vest and rob the bank, which they made a movie about with Jesse Eisenberg. But I didn't know that that was like a neck bomb tinkered like thing. That's fucking insane. Jeez.
I'm gonna rewatch the documentary. I haven't watched it in a while.
I'll definitely
I think
check
it might
it
be
out.
a couple episodes. I think it's like a docu-series, but I could be wrong. But it is really, really, really well done.
Yeah. God damn, what a good fucking movie.
Yeah, very good. I'm excited to see where they go next.
This was
Like everyone's sitting there fan casting, like they want Bryan Cranston as Mr. Freeze
Mhm.
or something like that. Let's see what they do, man.
I'll say this. Like, hey, Matt Reeves, listen to nobody. Do
Yeah,
what you want. Listen to nobody. Whatever you, even me. Don't listen to me because I even made a fan casting for Mr. Freeze. Just do what you fucking want, and that's all we need from you. Is
bro.
like,
One of the best parts of that the first one that Reeves directed at the Planet of the Apes, it was a relatively unknown kid by the name of Toby Kebbell
yeah,
just nailing it as Koba,
Mhm.
and no one ever would have seen that coming. You know, let it do its thing. We don't need the Joker right away. Everyone's
Yeah.
like, oh my god, the Joker. Everyone's
yeah.
yeah. I think it's Keegan Kyogan.
I thought it was Kogan. Yeah, I've just been calling him Kogan, Barry Kogan.
Whatever. I don't mean to
Yeah.
make a mistake on his name, but we've seen the Joker. He'll get his time. Let him do his thing.
Yeah.
You know, let them figure it out. But there are a lot of villains in the Batman lore that we really haven't seen on the big screen.
Yeah. It definitely seems like this is not something where like it's so reassuring to be a fan of something and be like, I think it's gonna turn out well.
Yeah.
To not be like, oh God, I hope this is good. Because I think up until everyone saw the movie, there were people. There's nothing more infuriating than seeing like why the Batman will tank, or YouTube thumbnails with like dumb like there's click worthy shit. But this is one of those situations where it's like this filmmaker knows what he wants, knows the vibe. He's working on the Penguin show, and they turned what was supposed to be a
GCPD one into a horror one,
into a like a Arkham style horror, which in another excellent concept is like to dive into that atmosphere, and then there you get to create another tangible feel like the rest. You get to map out the city. This is the only one in a long time, maybe since a bit of the first of Batman Begins, that like Gotham City is a character. Gotham City, you can feel it. I love like the geographical thing of like a seawall where it's so below sea level that they have to force the rest of the rivers around it out and all that. It's such a they did that a bit with in Batman versus Batman Begins, where you have like the slums look like regular
Narrows,
yeah, exactly, and then it just became Chicago afterwards. But this one is the most distinct, and I think I've already seen it 5 times.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was only able to see it once, but I'm very excited to visit it. And just kind of go from there and see it. As of right now, it's possibly my favorite movie of the year. If not, it is a very close second.
If we're gonna, if I know that giving you stuff to watch is a chore at this point, but Everything Everywhere All the Time.
I saw the commercial for it today, and I was like, "Hello."
I saw it a couple days ago or a week ago. I need to see it again. It might be an all-time favorite, like an all-time movie in the top 10 list. It booted something out. I have to figure shit out, but it might be an all-time fucking favorite. Wow. I need to see it again. It's incredible, but definitely top 2 right now is that and Batman. It is Michelle Yeoh. I don't know the other actor's name. He hasn't acted in a long time. This is the first thing he's done in like 10, 20 years or something. Incredible. Like I tweeted out a picture of my fucking cry face after the movie because it's so cool and so badass and has some awesome action and kung fu. But like, oh my God, it'll make you fucking ball. I was alone in a movie theater watching that. Not I was by myself, but it was a packed crowd, which you love to see now. but like it'll fucking get you. I know that's just to give you another thing to watch might be frustrating, but holy shit, if you ever get the chance to catch this when it
Yeah,
when
I
it
mean,
goes somewhere.
I've been trying. I'm a big, might be my number one of the year, but Jackass Forever, man, let me tell you, that was iconic for me. But I also my wife and I recently watched Windfall, the new Netflix movie
I
with
need to watch that. I heard about that with Jason
Clemens.
Segel and all of them. Yeah.
Yeah. And then watched Fresh with
Yeah.
Sebastian
Yeah.
Stan. So we're getting into it. Like I said, my daughter's sleeping through the night now. It's been getting a little easier on us. So we try to pop something on to watch something nice and close.
Your the TikToks, your girls' TikToks are hilarious.
Oh, thank you.
They're so funny. And I find them on I followed her after that one of you doing your haircut, which was fucking hilarious. That genuinely, that's like that. Everyone, all I saw the comments were, "This is Vine energy," and that's like the peak of comedy right now at this point of like
That's
self-aware,
boy.
And then the one she just did recently of running up to the mirror with little Rosie on her back. It's so fucking cute and it's so funny. And yeah, I just had to say that too.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll make sure I let her know.
This was successful. I'll say that. We talked about
Nice.
this and the Batman and the slap. That's going to be the titles. The Batman and the slap.
The Batman and the slap, baby.
The Batman slaps.
Done.
It was meant to be. All right. Tell about people where they can find you.
I co-host a comedy podcast with my buddy Joe Santagato out of Santagato Studios called The Basement Yard. So go check that out. Check out Santagato Studios. We have videos every Wednesday, and then The Basement Yard goes out public on YouTube and anywhere you like your podcasts on Mondays. And then find me on the airwaves of Twitter and Instagram. F Alvarez 8085 on Twitter, and then the Frank Alvarez on Instagram.
I also have to point it up because I'm looking forward to it. You guys are almost at 10,000 patrons, and you are getting waxed, correct?
Yeah.
At 10,000?
Yeah.
It's like close.
Yeah. If we get to 10,000 patrons, I will be getting a full Brazilian.
Oh my God.
So
you guys are going to you're going to get it and then report, or you're going to like record part of the process, or no?
We're going to record the process. Yeah. But that's if we get to 10,000. As of right now, we are not there. So thank God, but never know.
Well, you just got 11 more signatures. You can find the podcast, How's It Going to End, on my YouTube channel, Comedian in the Cinema, or you can find it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever else you listen to your podcast at How's It Going to End. And follow me on Instagram and Twitter, Comedian in the Cinema. That's pretty much it. See ya. And I'll edit there. This is awesome. Thanks so much for doing this, man.
Thank you so much for having me back, buddy. It's always a good time.